Hello, you're listening to Abstract AF. I'm Sneha Jaswal, and in this episode, I'm going to be recommending you 5 graphic novel adaptations of pretty famous books that you should read if you haven't read the originals. This list is specifically for those who don't usually have the patience to read long form novels, so their graphic novel adaptations are the perfect way to read great books without having to dedicate the kind of time you would have to give to the original classics. Now, obviously, no matter how fantastic a graphic novel is, there is no way that it can capture the essence of the original work for 100% because, due to the illustration, sometimes there isn't enough space for long, powerful dialogues that would have hit differently in a long form work. Regardless, number one on my list is To Kill a Mockingbird. Interestingly, and this is not something I'm very happy about, but I have tried reading Harper Lee's original work a bunch of times and I always struggled with finishing it. But the graphic novel adaptation is a lot more engaging. Obviously, it has beautiful illustrations, and for a change, this adaptation is actually able to make space for a lot of things in the original book. It's a phenomenal work explaining how racial prejudice and injustice worked, especially in 1930s America against Black Americans. Number two, Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut, which has been adapted by Ryan North and Albert Montes. Now this is one work where even if you haven't read the original work, you can understand that a lot of things are missing. But the retro style artwork is so brilliant, it'll keep you hooked till the end. The story is set between World War II and the 1970s and follows Billy Pilgrim, an optometrist. The story is an absurd take of how Billy keeps traveling through time and living through the war, and basically, due to time travel that is not under his control, Billy relives the war again and again, and the graphic novel is able to convey the author's basic message that war is completely futile and can scar a person for life. Number three, the graphic novel adaptation of Speak, the original work by Laurie Halsey Anderson. The book is about a young teenager who's sexually assaulted at a party, and she's only a high schooler. She calls the cops, and the cops come and break the party, and she's not able to tell any of her friends or schoolmates about why she called the cops and had to break the party. So this really makes her an outsider at school. At the same time, she's dealing with this trauma. The graphic novel captures Laurie Halse Anderson's story poignantly, and at no point readers who haven't read the original work will feel like things are missing. The panels illustrated by Emily Carroll speaks all the emotions the protagonist struggles to express in words. Number four, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. You really have to be living under a rock if you don't know about this classic book by Atwood, and it has a graphic novel format, so to those who really cannot pick up a fat book, the graphic novel is the perfect answer. The story unfolds in a futuristic but dystopian America where a totalitarian regime has replaced democracy and women are treated like properties. The handmaids, on the other hand, are government properties that are used as birthing bodies for high-ranking men whose wives cannot get pregnant. So they're nothing but milk-making and baby-making machines. Now, I actually did not like this graphic novel much, but I have to say that the art is stunning and really captures the kind of dystopian future Margaret Atwood tried to warn us about. I'm only including this in the list because it is something worth checking out, and if you have heard a lot about the book but just don't feel like you can read the original work, this is your shortcut. Now to my fifth recommendation, Anne of Green Gables. It's a very famous children's classic that has been adapted by Maria Marston and illustrated by Brenna Tumler. Again, now this book does feel a little rushed. Doesn't matter if you've read it or not, but I absolutely love this book. The bright crayon-like artwork is gorgeous, and the protagonist, she is an orphan who's adopted by 2 siblings to help out on their farm, but she's such a chatty little thing and extremely brilliant at school that she gets a full scholarship and has a brilliant future ahead of her. If you haven't read the original works, definitely check this graphic novel instead. That's all for this episode. Talk to you in the next one.